Hoy there, Skyward Shield. Welcome to week 3 of Football Talks. And man, what a crazy season! I'm joined by Bill. Say hello, Bill.
Hey!
Okay, let's get some of the elephants out of the room right now. There are a lot of them. Johnny Manziel, Derek Carr, Blake Bortles, Jameis Winston, Marcus Mariota, and Tyrod Taylor have wins. Drew Brees, Russell Wilson, Joe Flacco don't have wins.
What is going on?
What is going on?
Oh my god.
I don't know
It
how.
just-
Oh, finish what you're saying.
It's just the unpredictability of the NFL there.
Okay, the road for Super Bowl 50 got harder for everyone. Out of all the picks from yesterday, I got only 4 right. The Steelers game, the Cardinals game, the Falcons game, and the Browns game. I was the only one who picked the Browns, apparently.
And
In
I'm
your
right
face.
about there with you.
You picked I thought you picked the Titans. You got the Bills over. You got the Patriots over me.
Oh yeah, I did get a couple, but I was in agreement in a lot of different circumstances as well.
We had a lot of different picks though for this one. It might change. That might happen again. That might be a good thing. It's good that we have different picks, because then it will determine who has the most correct and wrong. But all right,
Dun, dun, dun.
we're gonna start with we'll get to the other elephants in the room, but for now we're gonna talk about Detroit. Sorry,
Alright.
Bill. Detroit went to Minnesota with a motivated Adrian Peterson to deal with, and it happened. Adrian Peterson rushed for over 150 yards, I think,
It was
With a
like
k-
125.
with the key 49-yard run that should not have happened, but it did somehow because this is
Yep.
the NFL.
Yep. The underhanded toss to freaking Adrian Peterson.
That's
It was really annoying to watch because the defense had him shut down in terms of that play, and yet he still busted off a 50-yard gain on that play. He should not have gotten that 50-yard play. That's a scoring drive that should never happen. And that was one of the things that started off my need to talk about this game, because this game, oh my god, it was the most frustrating thing to watch in the history of watching their football games.
Go on, Bill. I'll let you go with this.
Alright, so my first frustration is the offensive line. The offensive line decides that they don't want to protect Matthew Stafford, your $100 million quarterback. The quarterback that you can't let get hit and have Dan Orlovsky come in. Who's Orlovsky? Who the hell knows? But he's our backup. You have a $100 million quarterback, and you have Dan Orlovsky as your backup. You protect your $100 million investment. I don't care if you have to hold. I don't care if you have to chop block. I don't care what you do. You protect the quarterback. That is your job. You're not getting paid to sit there on your ass and do nothing. If you're on your ass, you deserve to be on your ass in the unemployment line. You don't deserve to be here. This is a good team. We only accept winners. And if the offensive line wants to play like losers, they go where the losers of the offensive line go. Unemployed. Goodbye. Sayonara.
Huh. Well, Bill,
So
is the
there's rant number 1.
all right? I knew you weren't done.
Rant number 2. to the Minnesota Vikings defense that was taking numerous cheap shots at Matthew Stafford.
Hey, save
over
those
the
parts for
entire-
me. I need to get my piece out of the way too.
They were going after Matthew Stafford no matter what. After the whistle, and the referees just sort of sat there and looked away. And that's another thing. The referees in that game were an abysmal, atrocious train wreck of referees. It's almost like the playoff game from last year.
You sure it wasn't them?
No, Peter Morelli. You can identify Lurch from anywhere, but those referees, it was like watching a train wreck of a refereed game. It was terrifyingly bad, and they're allowing a very important player to get just absolutely destroyed all over the field and not throwing flags. They threw one flag for that, and it's a joke. It's a joke. Now, if you would have saw if the Detroit Lions last year did the exact same thing to Teddy Bridgewater, they would have thrown that flag so fast, and then they would have probably suspended Ndamukong Suh last year, because the Detroit Lions always get viewed as the dirty team, while the Minnesota Vikings defense is dirty.
To be fair, they probably look at them because of the Pistons of the 90s.
I mean,
Can't
bad
deny
boys.
that. Bad boys. Let's continue, Bill.
And really, my last real frustration is that they couldn't get in the end zone. They just couldn't get in the end zone. And really, it's the running game. Where is the running game? And if you're not going to use the running game, why aren't you throwing some screen passes to Amir Abdullah? Amir Abdullah is a great young running back. Use him. Use him. Just get him the ball in space and go. Get both running backs into the backfield and hand it to one, and then hand it to another, and then fake hand it to one, and then hand it to the other guy. I don't care what you do. Just get one of these guys the football in space. Joik is the bruising runner. Amir is the freaking finesse speedster. Get them the ball in space and go. That's all you need to do.
They are not giving him more reps as they go along. As to the next team we'll be talking about later, to their credit, a certain first round pick is getting more reps and is doing more damage each time, but we'll save that for later.
Right.
Was that the end of the rant, Bill? Because
That's about the end of my rant, yes.
my only thing that I want to talk about is I think the defense did their job fair enough, though they did miss some big plays like that 49-yard run Adrian Peterson did. If that didn't happen, it might not have gone so bad. Maybe the Lions would have stayed in it, but we can't go on the what ifs. But what did happen? There's a play where after a play, Stafford is pushed into his own side of the field with all the other Lions, and I think the guy's named Anthony Barr got a cheap shot in him. If that happened to say Tony Romo, which we had to talk about him later, or say, I don't know, let's think of another person, Aaron Rodgers, the whole team would just surround him and swarm him. Some players would have been ejected from the game for that, and they wouldn't care. Because, that's my quarterback, that's my leader. You don't do that shit to him. Who defended Stafford then? Oh, some rookie. Some rookie out of wherever. And nobody else. Nobody came to him. No flag, of course, but that's the other thing that bothers me. These guys don't fucking care for Stafford. What is he, a dick in the locker room? He doesn't seem that way. If I think anyone's kind of an asshole in general, I would say that's Aaron Rodgers because of his I'm the best attitude.
Right.
Or Tom Brady because, there are some signs that show that the time when he got left for a high five 2 times once.
Yeah.
That's why I think, okay, he's not well loved, but he's respected at least. Wins them fucking
Right.
trophies, so like at least respect him. There's Stafford's love. I don't see much of it. I know if I were a player, I'd definitely defend him because like this is my quarterback.
Right.
For God's sakes, I can see them protecting Blake Bortles more than that. But seriously, I saw some of the game, but I'm so glad I just tuned it out while I watched the Houston game because at least can we transition to that, by the way?
Sure.
For God's sakes, Ryan Mallett had to do everything himself, and he's just getting antagonized. He's not the one, and maybe he isn't the one. Because for one thing, I can assure you this, if things keep up the way they are, Houston and Dallas, no matter where they are in the draft picks this year, for next year, they're definitely going to draft a quarterback. Because I think mostly every team has their quarterbacks now. What are the only teams that need one? I can only think of Washington. Washington, maybe the Jets. But that's if Fitzpatrick sures to be okay. It's like, okay, they got another year, and plus they drafted one guy. They want to train him a little more and see what he's got. So I don't think the Jets will do it.
I mean, to be fair, I think that if it doesn't go well this year in Philly, they could go for a quarterback themselves.
Okay, so let's say, who really needs one right now? I can assure you the Redskins are going to get one if Kirk Cousins isn't the guy. Because that's what they're betting on right now. They really want him to be the guy.
Right.
So if he's not the guy, they're going to draft one. I think Dallas is going to have to, for the sake of what if Romo falls, or to do a Brett Favre to Aaron Rodgers thing. Despite when Brett Favre was still playing, they drafted Aaron Rodgers to not only get him acquainted right away with the Packers system, but since he's a first-round talent, we know he's good, but let's sharpen those skills more. And now he's being hailed as the greatest of all time. Well, I disagree and say Tom Brady's better, because look at how many fucking trophies he's hoisted. Probably going to go for one more.
I mean, if you're the greatest of all time, then you should have the most trophies of all time.
That's why Jordan's better than fucking LeBron.
Michael Jordan's always going to be better than LeBron. I mean, seriously, getting off topic, just in terms of, no, I'll bring it back to on topic. Jordan transformed the game, whereas LeBron is playing in the transformed game and had a little bit of an impact, but Jordan had way more of an impact.
Maybe this is my fanboyingness, but I think one who's changing how to play the game a little bit, not like Jordan level, not at all. Kawhi Leonard. He is so good on defense and offense. He's always, every couple games, he'll steal a ball and dunk it in for 2. He's the greatest, you can call him the thief of the Spurs, stealing balls away from players. Not many players do that as much as they should. But
transitioning this to football, you make the case that there's 3 different quarterbacks that are really changing the game. 4, if you really think about it. Luck, Brady, Manning, and Rodgers. Those are the 4 that are changing it.
Really? I thought you were going to say Russell Wilson or Cam Newton.
Russell Wilson is playing within the changed game. Rodgers is the exception to the rule. He buys enough time in the pocket. He can be mobile if he needs to be. And Russell Wilson is a almost prototypical Aaron Rodgers.
Except more running.
Almost.
Except more running.
But as he develops, he's a young Aaron Rodgers. Whereas, the Brady and Manning changed the game.
Yeah.
Totally changed the game. In fact, if you want to make the case that it's Brady and Manning the most important quarterbacks in the last 50 years, yes.
Well, I'll put it this way. If Brady somehow wins another Super Bowl, first off, that's a big fuck you to Goodell. That's what I want to see if they win. That's what I want to see. Just hoist it up in Goodell's face. Do it. See what he does then. But there's that, and he would definitely have greatest of all time title, because that's 5. Who has as much as him or more? No one. The most. Who else has 4? There was
Montana.
Joe
I'm
Montana.
pretty sure.
What about John Elway? I thought he had 4.
Maybe it's Bradshaw. He did. Elway didn't win 4.
Oh.
It might be Bradshaw. Elway was like in 5 or 6 Super Bowls and lost the first 4 before he actually won the last 2.
Oh, that's unfortunate. The Bills could have
Yeah.
been there, but they lost every state.
Well, Elway, 2 of those Super Bowls that he lost, he ran into Joe Montana and the 49ers. In fact, the 49ers.
Yeah, you're
beat
right.
down the
You're right.
Broncos so badly, they're the worst loss in Super Bowl history. The 49ers beat them like 55 to like 14 or something.
That's a shutout. But you're right. It is Joe Montana and Terry Bradshaw. They're the ones who've won 4 Super Bowls. But if Brady wins one more, he will definitely have greatest of all time candidacy slapped onto him even more. Some people, they're always doubters because of with the whole Deflategate, Spygate shit. But if you have 5,
I mean,
that's hard to do.
Seriously, he's been to 6 Super Bowls. 6.
And he's
That's
4-2 in
not-
Super Bowl games.
And the only person to beat him, a Manning.
That's... Yeah, I can't argue with that, but so going back to the Texas area, yes, if things go the way they're going, Dallas and Houston are going to draft. Dallas will keep Romo until he wants to retire. Obviously, they're going to do the Brett Favre, Aaron Rodgers trick, no doubt, if they know what's good for them. Houston, they're going to do what obviously the Jaguars and Titans have done.
Right.
But I'm not dismissing Mallett like some people say. Obviously, you don't want to switch back to Hoyer. That's a bad thing,
No.
and plus it's what the fans say, and they have no choice but to agree. Well, I want to see more. I want to be assured that he isn't the one either. Plus,
I just feel.
what?
No, I was just gonna say, I just feel like the Texans are going to have a really difficult year this year.
Yep, and there's some things I have to say for that. One, the offensive line without Dwayne Brown was in shambles because everyone had to be repositioned into different spots. The only ones that retained their spots, I think, were the center. What's his name? I forgot. Was his name Ben Jones? It's something Jones.
I have no idea.
Yeah, and I think one of the guards, the right or left guard, and actually one of them got put on injured reserve. He's not playing anymore, so we had to get another guy.
Damn.
And Dwayne Brown and Arian Foster are day-to-day.
Huh.
If they both come back, everything gets set back to normal. And that's what Houston will need. They need Foster, but I think right now, more importantly, between Foster and Dwayne Brown, I'd rather have Dwayne Brown. He's been consistently more healthy, and his injury is the most minor. It's just a thumb issue like Derek Carr, but Derek Carr still came back. And we're talking Derek Carr later, Bill. Ironically enough, we're talking about the team with his older brother right now.
Yep.
But Dwayne Brown is much more essential because that's what keeps the line in check. Because if you had Foster, he'll just get hurt again because this line is not good for him right now.
Nope.
So, I still think Dwayne Brown's coming here. I don't think Foster will make it. He'll be down to the final day. But
Right.
I'm gonna say Dwayne Brown should come back, and that should get the line in check. And they're playing Tampa, which we'll talk about in the picks later. But I think Houston should be fine. They're definitely going to have a shot at 1 and 2, but just hope to God Winston doesn't play the way he did against the Saints. Holy shit. get wrecked. But okay, staying to this game, it was ugly. No, neither quarterback at first was doing much to start the first half. The second half, Cam Newton carried the whole team on his shoulders, playing Super Cam again. Mallett kept things up with him for what he could do, but then there was that one fourth down drive. He overshot DeAndre Hopkins by a little bit. It wasn't complete overshot like I thought. When I saw it, like, oh my god, he completely missed him. But when I saw replays from it, it wasn't that much. But that's the one thing with Mallett. I see now why he thought, or why Bill O'Brien wanted Hoyer. Because Mallett either overthrows or underthrows. That's a big problem. He's more accurate. But when those things miss, they miss by the slimmest of margins. And some could cost them. Some can cost, because if it's tight man-to-man coverage, overshot, the guy behind him will catch. He'll definitely go for it too. But if it's undershot, if there's a guy in front of him, he'll definitely pick it off.
Right.
So it's a risk. But again, I think that line is also to blame. But at least Ryan Mallett didn't get beaten up like the way Matt Stafford did. For God's sakes, that's even worse. I can't tell who's got the worser line between between Detroit and Houston's. So seriously, Dwayne Brown needs to come back and do anything. But the thing I was going to say about the last play, you may as well have put J.J. Watt in there, because he would have grabbed some attention for the other players. Because, like, oh no, you know what he's capable of. He's about as dangerous as having Gronk on the field. We need to cover him. Maybe double cover him. They wouldn't double cover him. They're going to double cover DeAndre Hopkins regardless. But you would have at least taken one guy off the line to watch Watt.
Yeah.
So that would have been less pressure, because at that point it was a fourth down, so you could have totally drained the clock till it was 0 and find a guy, right?
Right.
I'm just saying. I know they want to keep Watt in check, because if it did make it, they'd be overtime. You don't know what happens in overtime. But come on, it would have been nice to just have that distraction for them, because they don't plan for that much. But oh well, enough with Houston, because that's all I can think of. He did not do as bad as Hoyer, thank God. If that happened, there would have been another switch, but no. I don't want.
Right.
Please rip apart the Buccaneers. You need this win. A lot of 0-2 teams need this win. This win there. But okay, moving on. Let's get to the positive stuff. I am never doubting New England again. I am never doubting them again. I thought it was going to be a defensive slugfest, and Brady was going to be sacked 8 times. You know who got sacked 8 times? Tyrod Taylor. The Patriots. Bill Belichick showing once again to Rex Ryan, I am the best head coach around these parts. And Rex Ryan admitted it. Yeah, I'll give him credit. He admitted, for the once in his life, I talk too much. That was my fault. Yep. Isn't that funny? Character development for Rex Ryan.
All he needs to do is shut up, call his defense, and then if you win, and you move on, and if you lose, and you move on.
He should have been on to Miami.
Rex Ryan constantly flaps his gums and gives the Patriots something to get angry about, and then
and let's not forget, they were already angry enough with what happened over the offseason.
Exactly. So they go out and throw the football down the Buffalo Bills' throats.
People were saying Tom Brady, like Peyton Manning, can't throw beyond 30 yards. No, you're wrong. He's playing like he did near in his prime. I'm not saying
Tom Brady,
What?
Tom Brady is less hurt than Peyton Manning is right now. And he's not taken as many shots and as many surgeries, so obviously he's going to look a little bit better.
Let's also say this: offensive line for the Patriots, 3 rookies held together against one of the most, what is considered the best defensive line by some in the NFL.
Right.
Well, I will now say I think that's Denver's spot now. Maybe. That's still debatable.
Maybe.
Because,
I mean,
oh man, the Denver Broncos. What?
this is always a hallmark of a New England team. They always are good on the offensive line, and they're always good on the defensive line, and they cobble together a defense, and they have the Hall of Fame quarterback. You have Gronk. I mean, who is going to stop Rob Gronkowski?
Did you see that touchdown they had? They blew the cover. They were supposed to double cover him, but one guy who was supposed to cover him went to Edelman. And after the play, you see one of the other players like, dude, why weren't you covering him with me?
I mean, all you need to do is group Gronkowski and Edelman together constantly, and oh my god, oh my goodness, it's going to be brutal for teams, because Rob Gronkowski right now is looking uncoverable. He's just in a different zone.
Dude, like I said, I can only think of one person to cover him. That's J.J. Watt, another freak of nature. That's like, how do you fight? You know the saying, fight fire with fire? You fight a freak of nature with another freak of nature.
Exactly. The only way to stop Rob Gronkowski is to get someone as big as him, someone as athletic as him, and someone that's not afraid of him.
Why are you telling me J.J. Watt? I just said you gotta get J.J. Watt to block him.
And there's only one person in the NFL that meets those credentials, and I think if that were to happen, literally the earth would start shaking.
Oh man, 2 things. You made me remember 2 things I forgot to mention. J.J. Watt now has 60 sacks total in his career. Second fastest player to reach that. So history for him again. What else is new, though? And 2, Jadeveon Clowney is doing better and better. He had more plays, got 6 tackles, and 2 deflected passes. What did he get last game? 2 tackles only? What? What?
Jadeveon's learning from the best.
Yeah.
With his hands up.
Sooner or later, he's going to make a big play. It's inevitable. It's it's a ticking bomb. The clock is ticking. It's coming. Will it happen against the Buccaneers? Maybe. I know when it's going to happen, though. Against Atlanta. You remember that preseason game where he just murdered Matt Ryan and the running backs? They didn't want to play anymore. It's like, no, I'm not playing anymore. If he's there, I'm not playing anymore. Put in the backup QB.
They're like, I'm taking my ball and I'm going home.
Yeah, and now they can't say that in 2 weeks because that's where they play in week 4, I believe. But yeah, so Clowney's getting better. That's the good thing. Hold on. Okay, I'm back. Okay, so now we're gonna go back to New England. Just wanted to get the Jadeveon Clowney talk out of the way.
Mm-hmm.
Because man, I'm getting impressed with him so far. It's going to happen. But anyway, to the rest of New England's plays though, their offensive plays, Edelman catching a ball with 3 people in cover. I know we're probably not going to talk about this game, but the only other player who did that this week was Brandon Marshall against the Colts. Which, well, you could put 4 people to block a guy. That Colts defense is not going to stop, not going to do anything about it.
You know what the Colts defense reminds me of?
What?
Ghosts, because they're just not there.
Well, they're all dressed in white, so they're already dressed the part, and
True.
Halloween's around the corner. But
very true.
Okay, but anyway, so so you've heard you know how there's always there's some teams have triplets.
Right.
Before DeMarco left last year, Dallas had a triplets of Romo, Dez, and DeMarco Murray.
Yep.
And let's get another example. What's another example? Okay, like Detroit. Well, they kind of did, but not really. Aaron Rodgers for the Packers had him, like himself, Jordy Nelson, and Eddie Lacy. Pittsburgh
Right.
has, which they'll be getting back soon, Le'Veon Bell, Roethlisberger, and Antonio Brown. Okay,
Right.
I think we have one that can top that. Quadruplets. We have Tom
Oh,
Brady, Deion Lewis, Julian Edelman, and of course, the Gronk. How,
Wrong.
seriously, the Patriots get a player off the streets, turn him into a star in just 2 weeks? It's like those ads, like, football analysts are jealous of him, like, hate him. Find out how to become an NFL superstar in 2 weeks. Click here.
It's like Belichick runs a freaking clinic and he just charges $20 to do this sort of stuff.
We made them into an instant star. I think that's a
Exactly.
testament to how good he is.
He's a great coach. You know.
But all right. So, do you have anything else about this? Because the only thing I can think of is at least there's some people throwing red flags on Tyrod Taylor, and some of those are fair. But really, I don't think it's not much to worry about because there's the perfect game to rebound on. But that's for the
I
picks.
mean,
But I don't think they should even consider switching quarterbacks or anything like that.
oh no. Really, the only thing that of note is that Tom Brady threw the football all over the field on Buffalo, and really that was anti the game plan that I think Buffalo thought they were gonna come out with,
They thought they were going to
because
run it.
they just kept throwing the football and throwing the football, and I think Buffalo was expecting a more balanced attack and set up their game plan for a balanced attack.
I think they
and-
were prepared for short throw passes, kind of like how you stop Peyton Manning.
Yeah,
Stop screen
what I
passes
feel
and
is,
what?
yeah, what I feel like is that they were trying to stop the runs. That way they could start, shipping Gronk. They could start doing that sort of stuff, and then they could focus on Gronk, and then the Patriots would have nothing. Well, the Patriots just came out and started throwing the football all over the place, and then Brady got in rhythm, and the game was over by then.
Yeah. But all right, so should we move on to the last game, the last major game?
Sure.
All right. Dallas at Philadelphia. We thought DeMarco Murray was going to light up the field and get his revenge. Not at all. He didn't get much
Nope.
yards. In fact, less than 10. He's on track to go 88 yards at most. That's a high estimate, by the way. He went negative for most of the part because his old friend Sean Lee had at least two hits on him for loss of yards. However, that wasn't the biggest story, as the Cowboys did beat the Eagles in a 20-10 win. Though, however, the 10 points from the Eagles was just garbage time. It was virtually a shutout.
Yeah.
But anyway, the real big story is Romo is now on injured reserve, cannot come back until Week 11. And if I remember correctly, the Week 11 game is...
No idea.
I can check it. It is, again, it's at Miami. So what a way. Get greeted by what should be considered a fearsome defense with Ndamukong Suh and Cameron Wake, who I like to call Crasher Wake. If you play Pokemon, you know who I'm referencing. It works. I mean, the dolphins, water. Why is there no dolphin Pokemon? But whatever. Back to football. Yeah. Romo can't come back until at least the Dolphins game in Week 11. However,
Oh, man.
most people are down, as they rightfully so, because first you lost Dez, and now you lost Romo, two of your biggest pieces.
Yup.
But I will say, for a Dez-less team, they had control of this game. People say Dez is like the biggest piece for them, and if they lose him, they're done. I disagree. To me, my biggest piece is either Sean Lee right now, because they don't have Randy Gregory or what's his name, Rolando McClain yet, which I think Rolando McClain's coming back this game or the next game. But
Right.
if it's not him, I say it's Jason Witten, because Jason Witten is like, he's the safety blanket. Take that away, there's nothing to fall on for Romo or for Dallas. But
Right.
all right, Bill, I want you to tell me what you thought of this, especially that one play that that's got Romo out.
Oh, what I thought of the game,
Yes.
or I thought it was an ugly game. I won't lie. Both teams just it sort of had that feel like it was going to be a low-scoring game.
It felt like
and it turned.
Did you see what I tweeted about it though? That I thought it
No.
felt like a Baltimore Pittsburgh game,
Yeah, it
like a
felt like-
13-10 type of game.
Yeah, it felt like a bloodbath type game, and it was a bloodbath in terms of offense for Philadelphia because Philadelphia, oh my,
The bloodbath was the loss of Romo, so
I mean,
a life
negative-
has been taken.
the negative 19 yards for Philadelphia and poor Tony Romo. Oh my God,
That hit
with
was
that
so
broken-
dirty.
that broken clavicle, man. That is not. I won't lie. I won't be surprised if he doesn't come back till week 14 or 15.
Yeah,
Because it depends how fast he heals.
yeah, but I can say he'll come back at week 12.
Right.
At Thanksgiving. But maybe not, because that's a Thursday when they play Carolina. So-
I'm personally feeling like week 14, maybe 13, 14 is a more conservative estimate for me because, when what's his face, Stafford went out with a similar injury, he was gone for the year, and
That depends
He-
on the severity.
yeah, well, Romo is exactly not the youngest guy either, so obviously once you start getting up into your upper 30s, mid-30s, upper 30s, you just don't heal as fast as you do when you're in your
Remember,
early 20s.
Getting injured a lot adds up, because there's only a certain amount of cells or, amount of times you can heal before it just won't happen anymore.
Exactly, and he's already dealt with numerous back surgeries, so I feel like week 11 is a pretty aggressive estimate. I feel like really...
Well, that keeps him out of the roster, and so that way some other player can get the spot.
Oh yeah,
That's the point.
I'm just saying that everybody in Dallas is look at it. Oh, he'll be back week 11. I'm thinking more week 13, week 14, and they'll move on from there. But it's going to be interesting because
Thank God for their early bye week. Who comes
Yeah,
back first,
Dez.
though? Dez or Romo? Who do you got?
I'll put it. I think Dez might come back before Romo does.
Yeah, though. I'm gonna say this. You know that there's a lot of early Sunday Night Football games that happen. They can't change the next one for Dallas with the Saints because that's within week 5, the 5-week rule. You can't change the first 5. Too short notice. However, I do expect them to change the Philadelphia Eagles at Cowboys game, maybe, especially if the Eagles play like shit like the way they've been doing. They might change
Right.
it to either, if I had to guess, either to Green Bay at Carolina, the Denver Broncos at the Colts, and that's really about it. Just between those two games,
Right.
maybe the Falcons 49ers, but I wouldn't want to see the 49ers.
No, I don't think that would happen at all.
It would probably be Denver at Indy or Green Bay at Carolina, because either way a slaughter's coming for either one. But they can change it. That's part of it's week 9, but I expect that one to change. But back to the actual game. Sean Lee, man. Sean Lee, I want to just give him comeback player of the year, but he just needs to finish the season healthy.
Yeah.
He's in a similar spot to Brian Cushing. Great linebackers at what they do, but keep getting hurt. If they both get hurt one more time, they're not getting a contract again from their teams. They're going somewhere else or they're retiring.
Yup. Oh, jeez.
So what's wrong?
No, nothing.
Oh, I thought something happened, but so they both had to play, but Sean Lee played great, shutting down DeMarco Murray. He knew him well, he knew how he'd play, and he got him. I'm really impressed with Sean Lee and that defense. People were like, "Oh, woe is us. They did not draft a running back. We are doomed. Dallas is going 4-12." I say nay to that. And honestly, Bill, nay, I say. Okay, Bill, I'm going to look at the schedule for Dallas. I'm going to read you. Do you want to play the win-loss game?
Oh, God.
I'm going to say this. Let's go from weeks 3 to 11, the injured reserve time for Romo, the guaranteed time.
Yeah, where both Romo and
Dez aren't. They're not allowed to play, even if they somehow got miraculously healthy. Which I will say, it could go positive because, for God's sakes, Foster's about nearly his age. He's 29, I think. But he's coming back possibly against the Bucs this week or next week. We thought he would be gone till November, week 8. So there's hope for Romo and Dez, maybe. Dez for sure. I think Dez will heal fast. But anyway.
Right.
Okay. Week 3 against the Falcons. Win or loss?
Loss.
Don't blame you. Julio Jones playing the way he is? Yeah. I say loss. At Saints. Win. Saints doing it about as bad as the the Bears. Patriots, we can both agree it's a loss because it was no matter who was there.
Right.
At Giants.
Loss.
Seriously? I have them for a win. At Seahawks. Loss.
Loss.
Host to Philadelphia.
Loss. I think Philadelphia's going to be clicking by then.
At Tampa Bay.
Win.
All right. So in your case, how many wins did you give them? 2?
I gave them like 2 or 3.
You gave them 2. You gave them the Saints and Buccaneers win. All right.
Yeah.
So they would be 4 and 1, 2, 3, or 5. 4 and 5 for you. Still in it. Honestly, they're still in it. And for me, I gave them what?
Especially in that division.
Yeah, I gave them. Let's see how many losses. 1, 2, 3, 4.
So 5 and 4.
I gave them 5 and 4.
Even.
Yeah, just we switched one loss and win. That was probably for me the Giants game. I think they'll beat the Giants because the Giants are just ugh. Eli Manning's like range of sight. It's like his peripheral vision disappeared now. You know what I'm saying?
I'll put it this way though. All it takes is one game for Odell Beckham to take over, and
he took over in the Falcons game, but they still blew it because Manning. There was 2 plays I saw where Beckham was open. Nobody was close enough to pick the ball off or block him, and Manning just looked the other way. That's why it's not Odell Beckham the problem there. It's Manning. His sight is going away. That's why I say the Giants probably gonna go 6 and 12, 7 and not 6 and 12, 6 and 10, 7 and 9. Because man, how the fuck are they even still existing? But yeah, okay. So enough with the injury talk now, because like I said, I'm really proud of the defense. I think it was a great draft, though Randy Gregory's hurt. He'll probably be back for come past bye week. He'll definitely be back after the bye week. He's out for 3 games, so yeah, he'll come back bye week, and by then Gregory will be back too. Randy Gregory will put pressure on quarterbacks. So after the bye, they have to hope to God their defensive line and their everywhere else holds up together. This is where Dallas's defense is now forced to carry. It's not Romo's job to clutch anymore. He can't clutch. So,
Right.
I think they'll be able to pull through sometimes. Like for some games, like the Giants, I think they'll pull through for that because Manning is just not doing anything. Buccaneers, well, of course, the Bucs have the worst offensive line ever. So,
Yes.
yeah, that's where I'm just saying they have a shot. They could even if our predictions are right, they're still in it because the NFC East is wide open. The Redskins, or excuse me, the Washington Football Team, are still in it. 1-1. And Bill, let me remind everyone, you made the bold prediction saying the NFC East would be the worst division. You're well on track for that right now. The Eagles are 0-2. What?
All 4 teams could finish below 500, and I would believe it.
I still believe the NFC South will be the worst division, and I think at least one team will go above 500, and that's Atlanta. So far, I'm right.
I believe Atlanta will go over 500. I feel like the 2 worst divisions are going to be the South and the East, and most of the teams in both divisions are going to be terrible and have at least a 500 record, and or 1 game below or 2 games below, and they'll be in the playoff hunt, and then the other divisions will be really good.
Yep, but okay, so yeah, I think that's all we can say. Though I liked what I saw from Dunbar. I think Dunbar will probably be the main one because he can catch and run. That's what he's good at. Him and what's the other one's name? Not McFadden, the other dude. I forgot their name.
Joseph Randall.
Yeah, Randall and Dunbar are 2 great run after the catch. And some of them can, when they see a hole, they'll take advantage of it. They're not. What's his name? Trent Richardson, hugest hole ever. Someone like Adrian Peterson would have ran 200 yards. He didn't see it.
Meanwhile, Trent Richardson just either he lumbers towards the hole or he just doesn't see it and runs straight into a pile for no
reason. The only
reason.
player with a worse vision than Eli Manning. All right, so now we're done. We're done with Cowboys talk. Okay, so there were a couple games I wanted to talk about. I mean, if you don't remember, I said Andrew Luck was 0-2. The Colts lost to the Jets at home, 20-7. I'm not, out of all the 0-2 teams, they're the one I won't count out because they're in the easiest division, and they're playing 3 straight games against division opponents.
Yep.
Easily go 3-2 or 2-3.
Yep, they can still be right back into the game.
I'm still gonna say Houston plays as physical and mean to them as the Jets and the Bills did. They could go 2-3, but they'll still beat them at home. Of course, they're not gonna lose to the Texans at home. Maybe. Then again, I did think the Jets were not gonna beat them. I thought it was gonna be 30-6. But
yeah.
I was wrong, so who knows?
I thought Indy would actually come out and play aggressive
and Ty was there. Ty came back.
Yeah, Ty though didn't look good.
Yeah, but you know what? It's okay. Like I said, they're playing the Titans, which we'll get to that in the picks. But okay, so the other games. So people were saying the Cowboys-Eagles game was boring and ugly. And I agreed. However, you want to know what the best game was at that time? The Raiders hosting Baltimore. Everyone thought, aside from people in the black hole, thought the Ravens would just come out and shut them down, take care of business, come home going 1-1, get ready for the Bengals. But no.
Right.
Khalil Mack and Justin Tuck just kept getting to Joe Flacco's face, getting in his face, not letting him get his throws right. He threw a couple picks, and Derek Carr did too. of course, so he wasn't perfect. Both quarterbacks were great. They were playing a phenomenal game that was down to the very last minute. Why wasn't this America's Game of the Week? Fox, I ask you. That was more. What?
The reason why it wasn't America's Game of the Week is because Fox has rights only to the NFC.
Sometimes they'll trade. Like the last game of last season, the Texans hosting the Jags was on Fox, and I couldn't see it.
Right.
I couldn't see it on my TV because everyone loves Dallas, and that's gonna happen this week too. That makes me mad. So I have to go. I have to go other ways of watching, but. Like NFL Game Pass, try out our demo. Just go to NFL.com/footballtalks for your free trial. In which we get sponsored by the NFL, but that won't ever happen. But, okay, so Derek Carr threw a pass to Amari Cooper that just gave them the spark. Seriously, if the Raiders want to win games, what they gotta do is start strong. That gives the team motivation. Yeah. But
especially with their defense not being all 100% because they were dropping like flies in that game.
Both sides, to be fair. But the Ravens' defense has no identity without Terrell Suggs. If Terrell Suggs were there, I think Derek Carr would not have played as well.
Right. I mean...
What?
I just feel like the Oakland defense just lost a few too many people, but we'll get to the... Overall, the game was really, really exciting, and it was the best one of the weekend, in my opinion, because it was back and forth.
That's the football we love. That's football we love.
Exactly.
So
exactly. Each team was like, I'm the score 10. I get a 10-point lead, and then the other team came back. It was a good football game. See, you don't need cheesy extra point, rules for a game to be interesting. You know how a game's interesting? If a team ties and then the team, it's a consistent tie fest and they try to one-up each other. That's interesting, not cheesy extra point.
I thought you were trying to make a jab at the Packers the moment you said cheesy. Okay, but I'm not too worried about their defense because the two big ones are still there, Justin Tuck and Khalil Mack, which admittedly, Justin Tuck got shaken up, but he came back into the game, no problem, and still was disruptive. Those two making damage, and the black hole consumes Baltimore, man. And Crabtree playing not like how he used to be, but that was his first 100-yard game in 2 years. That was the run I think they went for the Super Bowl. Admittingly, ironically, this is the team he lost to. But the last thing with Raiders, when you get a touchdown from Derek Carr to Amari Cooper, what do you call it? AC/DC. My classic rock side is pleased. But last game, this is relevant for you because this was against an NFC North team. The Cardinals punishing the Chicago Bears. Their crime for simply existing. 48-23 bomb. Larry Fitzgerald catching 3 touchdowns, playing like his old self. Bill, if Carson Palmer's there, never count the Cardinals out.
Exactly. The Bears are just a bad team.
They're the new Titans.
They're a terrible defense, and and Jay Cutler's not going to be playing for a couple weeks. The ceiling, the floor is
actually. Can you list the other quarterback that got injured too? There was one more for the Saints.
Oh, Drew Brees of the Saints.
And you know what's ironic? Have you seen those ads where it's like our Verizon's backup generators explained by backup quarterback, by the Saints backup quarterback? What's his name? I think his name is McGloin. Last name? It's not Matt McGloin from the Raiders, obviously. I think he has a brother.
Oh no, it's the Cleveland Browns starter McCown.
Oh, okay. No, because I know the Raiders had a backup named Matt McGloin.
Yeah, Matt McGloin's of the Raiders, but the Saints' backup quarterback is not. It might be Luke McCown.
Hmm. Well, regardless, I can actually check, but regardless, Drew Brees is out for I think 3 weeks. I want to say, but
Something like that.
seriously, they are in deep shit as if they weren't already in some. But but what my point was is that he said maybe you should give those backup generators a chance. You never know. Well, guess what? Your chance. Your chance.
He's getting his chance,
It's
and
it's
I guess what? He gets to deal with the Panthers. I think probably Luke Kuechly might be back.
yeah.
Good luck. Good luck.
He's back, and oh man, what a way to get introduced. Let me see. Oh, it's yeah, you're right. It's Luke McCown. He's getting his shot today. You got what you asked for, kid. You got the job. But okay, back to back. What?
One last thing. You should never agree to a commercial like that and jinx your own quarterback. Never do that. Backup quarterbacks, don't do that, because now you will forever be there. People in New Orleans will be playing that tape and they'll be burning it. They'll be like, "You got rid of Drew Brees."
No, not like he was doing that much anyway.
Especially in an area that is very, into voodoo.
They are very in love with Drew Brees. He is the biggest hero of New Orleans. I would make a historical joke, but I know very little of New Orleans from long ago. But yes, the Cardinals, Bill. I'll be honest, if the Lions don't get their act together, I'm gonna switch my pick to Arizona.
Oh man.
But I am fascinated by just how people were like, oh, the Cardinals aren't gonna be the same. They're not gonna they're not gonna light up the field every time they show up. No, I trust in Bruce Arians. Coach of the he's on track for Coach of the Year again.
And yet, here is the Cardinals at 2-0 and the best team in their division again.
Against Seattle, who's 0-2. The 49ers and Rams are above Seattle in the standings.
I think that's
oh, that is going to change, but obviously the 49ers are last, but the Rams can at least, I mean, sure, they lost to the Washington football team, but they're in trouble. But they can still try to at least steal a few games. I mean, you stole one from Seattle, you can steal one from some other team. That's good.
The Rams are in decent position. The team that's in the most trouble is the 49ers.
Yep. Don't care if you have Jim Tomsula, who people want to just take my Coach of the Year award because you're funny. No. Rex Ryan and Bruce Arians deserve it way more than you, man. But, okay. I have nothing else to say about that. You have any other thoughts from the last games? Because, I mean, I already talked about the Browns. I was the only one of the few people who had faith in them, aside from people who live in the dog pan. Or what, is that what they call it?
Dog pound.
The dog pound.
Yeah. Really, the only other thing of note is that the Jacksonville Jaguars beat the Miami Dolphins.
Yeah. Okay. I'm going to tell you this right now. I switched some picks for this week. I'm going to count how many. Let's see. There's 1, 2, 3. I have 3 games that I've changed picks for, and that was one of them. With the Miami Dolphins. Like for this coming week, because they're not doing anything. You made the Jaguars play better. What?
I mean, the Jaguars played exceptional against the Miami Dolphins.
They're better. They're better coach. That's why Gus Bradley is a better coach. he's always the motivating coach. And when they win, have you seen that locker room when they win a game? Like when they beat the Giants last year, they were
Yep.
they were partying like they won the Super Bowl. Imagine if they ever did win a Super Bowl, how crazy it'd get there. There would be no stadium.
Insane.
There would be no stadium.
But yeah, that's the only other thing I wanted to highlight because obviously the Jaguars deserve it,
All right, Bill.
and I'm just anti Miami Dolphins because of Sue.
Yep. Well, Jim Schwartz is gone from the league, so you have somebody else. You have to have somebody else to get mad at.
Of course.
All right, so Bill, let's get started on the picks.
Oh man, here we go. So, Thursday night game, the Washington football team at the New York Giants.
My pick's still staying. You already know it's New York.
Yep, and my pick is still staying, is New York.
So now every team so far but the Eagles have won their game. Have won one of their games. All right, Bill.
Oh man.
No, actually, Bill,
So-
make it 4 games that I'm changing picks for. But continue.
Uh-oh.
Continue.
Alright, so, 1 o'clock game. The Atlanta Falcons at the Dallas Cowboys.
If Tony Romo was healthy and playing this game, I would have given it to Dallas still. Sure, Dez was not there, but Terrence Williams and Jason Witten and Gavin Escobar were all you needed. Because that Dallas defense could have done enough to limit Julio Jones and make Matt Ryan uncomfortable. But that Dallas defense can't carry this one. I'm giving it to Atlanta. This is my first game I changed. The minute Romo went down, it's like, well, Falcons won next week.
Yep. And I also have the Atlanta Falcons defeating the Cowboys. And there's only one name you need to know as the reason why. Brandon Weeden.
Not Julio Jones just lighting it up.
Brandon Weeden playing terribly against the Falcons' poorest defense.
I don't think that would happen, but I mean maybe against the Patriots in 2 weeks, but not this one. I think he'll do
I
okay.
mean, I think Brandon Weeden's a terrible quarterback, so that's factoring into.
Hey,
my
there's one
decision
worse
making.
than him, and his name is Brian Hoyer.
Geno Smith.
No. Well, actually, that's debatable. Who's worse between him and Brian?
Oh man.
Next game, Bill.
But continuing on, we are going to. It's the Indianapolis Colts at the Tennessee Titans.
Okay, I'll give some credit to the Titans. They might put up a good amount of points here because the Colts defense is trash. But the Colts, well on their way back to winning the AFC South, as usual. What else is new? Colts win, as it pisses me off.
I also have the Colts winning because they are going to come out and be very mad after the last 2
Hey,
games.
they were very mad against the Jets yesterday, and they still lost.
Every time I say that, they lose. So you might want me to keep saying that.
Yeah, but no, go ahead, go ahead. But next
I say
game.
that about the Lions too, and they lose as well.
Well, no, like
So next up, the Oakland Raiders at the Cleveland Browns.
Oakland has more weapons than Johnny Manziel, but you know what? This will be a fun game. Isn't it ironic that this will probably be the second most fun game to watch from a regular football fan who doesn't pick a particular team? This will be fun because I think Derek Carr and Manziel will put up points and will do good, though I expect some interceptions because there are 2 great defenses here on the field, or above respectable. They're good.
Yeah.
But Khalil Mack going for a strip sack, I can see that happening. Johnny Manziel's
man.
biggest weakness is protecting the football. That's all. But I'm going Raiders.
Yep.
I trust Derek Carr to begin his legacy as the Raiders' good quarterback.
I also have the Oakland Raiders defeating the Browns. I just feel that overall the Oakland Raiders are a better team than the Browns. The Browns have a good defense, But I mean, it's got to compete against that Oakland Raiders offense, and it's just not going to happen.
Jack Del Rio bringing in his first away win. Love it.
Next up, the Cincinnati Bengals at the Baltimore Ravens.
This was my second game that I changed picks for. Originally I had Baltimore, but without Terrell Suggs, there's no identity, and even so, among their division rivals, the Bengals have consistently beat Baltimore at Baltimore. So, and they're red hot because Cincinnati's always great at the beginning. How could I forget something so obvious? But it's when the season gets colder that things start to go south. You know how they say Peyton Manning is bad in the cold? Well, so is Andy Dalton. I've got Cincinnati.
I also have Cincinnati. The Baltimore Ravens they're not playing good, and I don't think they're going to play good this week either.
Bill, I think we have a lot of games that we agree upon on this week.
Next up, the Jacksonville Jaguars at the New England Patriots.
Those Coast City Kitties are about to get cooled the fuck down. Gronkowski gonna light up 2 touchdowns on them. Unguarded. But I'm just saying, Tom Brady getting his revenge, and even if he wasn't playing, this was probably the first game the Patriots would have won regardless. I've got the Patriots to just take care of business at home against the not-so-great Jaguars team.
I also have the Patriots defeating the Jaguars. Gronkowski is going to wrestle a Jaguar down to the ground and pin it.
He could probably do that to a real-life Jaguar. Oh, I don't want to find out.
Next up, the New Orleans Saints at the Carolina Panthers.
Careful what you wish for, Luke. That almost sounds like a Star Wars joke right there. But Carolina is your first game, Luke McCown. I don't see you beating them. But hey, you're better on the road as a team than at home these days. So maybe, but I got Carolina winning.
Well, it's the Battle of Lukes. McCown versus Kuechly, and Kuechly will defeat McCown, and the Carolina Panthers are going to defeat.
You know who would beat them both, though? Luke Skywalker. I had to go Star Wars. Can't wait for it.
Man.
Can't wait for episode 7. Next game, Bill.
Next up, Philadelphia Eagles at the New York Jets.
This was my most recent pick, the one I mentioned earlier. This is my upset of the week. The Jets shutting down Philadelphia at the Meadowlands. Ryan Fitzpatrick giving what to Houston, like, you miss me, don't you? As he throws a touchdown to Brandon Marshall. Jets, Jets. That's my pick.
And I'm riding the Philadelphia bandwagon one more week. I'm going to pick the Philadelphia Eagles to beat the Jets. They have to win sometime, right?
Yeah, but they're almost in a situation like with the Colts. If they play a mean defense, they won't win.
I can see this game being like 38-35 very easily.
Oh, I don't think they'll put that much points though for the Jets. But
oh, man.
what do you got next?
Next up, Tampa Bay Buccaneers at the Houston Texans.
Ryan Mallett is going to show he wants this starting job bad, and he's going to prove he deserves the spot still. I don't know if Foster will come back. I believe Dwayne Brown will come back. Even if that doesn't happen, the line will definitely hold against the Buccaneers defense, aside from McCoy, who probably will get a sack. DeAndre Hopkins will have another touchdown. And I expect Watt to get his first touchdown this game. I'm going Houston.
And I am also going Houston. I feel like Ryan Mallett's going to throw the football all over the field, and they don't have anyone to stop DeAndre Hopkins. And the Buccaneers offense is going to be without Austin Seferian-Jenkins. and Mike Evans didn't do anything last game. So I mean,
Surprisingly, but he wasn't needed at all. That's the crazy thing. Two things though.
so I
Oh,
got
what? No, finish what you're saying.
so I got the Texans winning.
Two other things. One, Watt's gonna sack Mariota, or not Mariota, Winston to welcome him to the league. Welcome to the big leagues. And the other thing. Oh crap! It actually slipped my mind. But oh well. If I remember it, I'll mention it later. Just Houston will win. But welcome to the league, Mariota.
Okay, so next up, the San Diego Chargers at the Minnesota Vikings.
I have San Diego winning, getting back on their winning drive, making it going for the playoffs again. Melvin Gordon should rush in for a touchdown. Adrian Peterson, I don't know about that. I've got the Chargers.
I also have the Chargers defeating the Vikings, but I feel it's going to be an overtime game,
Seriously?
and it'll be like 23-20.
Huh. Okay, I remember the other thing already. DJ Swearinger, former Texan, is with the Buccaneers. He's getting a welcoming party. With DeAndre Hopkins scoring a touchdown in his face. I didn't want him to go, but oh well. Next game.
Alright, so next up, the Pittsburgh Steelers at the St. Louis Rams.
I want the Rams to win, but no, Pittsburgh should do well. But it is worth noting, this is the Steelers are almost at the same boat as Indianapolis. No, if they play a mean defense or a really well constructed one, they could do it. But I have to go Pittsburgh. I think by this point, Le'Veon Bell's going to be back. So
Yep.
I want to be wrong on this one, though.
I also have Pittsburgh winning, but I can see how they could lose. So it's not by much. I have them barely beating the Rams.
All right, so next game.
All right.
4 o'clock now.
The San Francisco 49ers at the Arizona Cardinals.
I have the Cardinals dropping another 40-point bomb on the 49ers. What's his name? The recent player, Jim Brown, I think his name is? No, it's something Brown.
Jerron Brown?
Maybe. The one with the weird dance when he scores a touchdown, that dude.
John Brown.
Oh, John Brown. John Brown's going to catch a touchdown pass. Larry Fitzgerald's going to catch two. It's going to be a joyous game for Arizona fans.
I also have Arizona beating the 49ers. The 49ers offense against the Arizona Cardinals offense that is like a cannon just exploding and just oh my god, it's an explosion of points.
Next game.
All right. So next up, the Buffalo Bills at the Miami Dolphins.
This one. This is the last game I switched my picks to recently because the Dolphins, I've noticed, they're just not doing anything. I have Buffalo taking care of business. Rex Ryan keeping that locker room from going haywire.
I also have the Buffalo Bills defeating the Miami Dolphins because the Dolphins have Ndamukong Suh and he's not doing anything, and the Buffalo Bills defense is come back with a vengeance after being humiliated by New England.
Yep, plus, who is the better coach here? Like I said, the Dolphins coach is one of the worst out there. That's a bad title to have.
Speaking of humiliating defeats, it's the Chicago Bears at the Seattle Seahawks.
Both teams got humiliated last week, but Seattle, I told you, they need this win, and they're playing at home. This was the game they needed. The kudos to the schedule creators. They knew how things would shape up for some of these teams, and they knew it would shape up this way for Seattle. Humiliated at Green Bay. They need this game to win, so that way they give the fans a win and they get some momentum going. I've got Seattle.
I also have Seattle humiliating the Bears, who are going to false start like 20 times in this game. Now the Sunday night game, the Denver Broncos at the Detroit Lions.
One last time, Detroit. This is your last chance to try and make a Super Bowl run. You lose this game, it is going to be near impossible to get in. I've got Detroit. I hope to God Calvin Johnson and Golden Tate make miracle-type plays against that elite Denver Broncos defense coached by Mr. Wade Phillips.
I also got the Detroit Lions. I need to say it. They just got to do it. They just got to. All right. And now the Monday night game, the Kansas City Chiefs against the Green Bay Packers.
Super Bowl I reenactment this year. How perfectly well timed. I have Green Bay winning because it's Lambeau, I guess, but I would really love for the Chiefs defense to get their shit together and Marcus Peters be the one to break the streak of getting an interception from Aaron Rodgers in Lambeau. Like, I'm basically Shia LaBeouf telling the defense to do it. Just do it. Don't let your dreams be dreams. But alas, Green Bay shall win.
And I've got Kansas City defeating the Green Bay Packers. And the reason being is that Jamal Charles is going to run all over that Green Bay defense. The Green Bay defense is weak, and Jamal Charles is going to have a heyday.
All right, Bill.
So
We got the Thursday game for Week 4 in case we're not around.
Yep. The just in case game is the Baltimore Ravens at the Pittsburgh Steelers, a.k.a. the Bloodbath.
This might be 13-10 type of game. I would say that, but no way. Pittsburgh wants revenge for that playoff game, too, and just because you're Baltimore. I have Pittsburgh lighting it up. Antonio Brown catching 2 touchdowns against the Ravens.
I've got the Steelers also winning the Bloodbath by a big score because their offense is just off the charts.
And Baltimore's defense, not so much.
Correct.
All right, Bill. I have nothing else to say. What about you? You ready for Week 3?
Nothing much. I am.
Do your job, Detroit. Do your job.
Indeed.
You too, Ryan Mallett. Keep that job. I don't want Hoyer to set foot on the field ever.
Oh, man.
Alright, so that's going to be it for this week. We'll see you in Week 4. Hopefully things will shape up according to plan.
Yep.
See you later.